How'd do, everybody? It's been a minute. I know I've been saying that a lot, but, well, it's because I go to work in the dark and I come home in the dark, and then I don't have any way of filming anything unless it's inside. And I don't do a whole lot inside. But let me show you what we're doing today. The farmer in.
Liddell.
The farmer in.
Liddell.
Hi-ho, da dirty do, the farmer in.
Liddell.
So this right here is what happens after a pool has been out for about a year and a half-ish. We got another pool. I cut a hole in it. That's what the light colored blue is there. But anyway, you guys have seen how I did this before. If you're new to the channel, we have ducks. There they are. There's 5 of them. Anyway, you'll hear them in the background. But if you get one of these here drains, shower drains is all this is, you want to get one that screws down from the top into what's planted in the ground over there. I actually had the foresight to do it last time, and I didn't realize that, so I bought a new one. They're like 10 bucks. It's not the end of the world. But anyway, I put this pool down, flopped that one over the top, transferred the mark, drilled the hole. But we're upgrading in the sense of this one here has a ball valve right there. And that allows me to drain this pool each night or every other day or whatever the case may be. Usually it's every night. But anyway, this one doesn't, except for outside. You can kind of see it there between the rails. But then I got to go around and come back and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I bought another one. We're going to put it right there. The whole reason for having a ball valve on the outside is I was going to dig a hole. Wow, going through chicken wire. That's interesting. Camera doesn't like that. Anyway, the idea was, we'll pretend it's this one. Dig a hole, the pipe's sticking out. You can put a bucket underneath of that and drain the water into the bucket. And yeah, for the city folks, it's poopy water. It's kind of gross. Ew. But here's the deal. That is the best fertilizer for plants. I mean, I wouldn't pour it right on top of your cucumbers and then make a salad with it. But if you pour it on the plant, it's not a bad way to go. Anyway, like I was saying, it makes good fertilizer, but I got to dig a hole so I can put a bucket down in there. And then that other ball valve, you can turn it on and off. So you can open up the ball valves at each pool, whichever one we're using at the time. Obviously, you got to have all 3 open to drain the furthest one away, but then you can drain it into a 5-gallon bucket. But I got to dig a big hole, and then I got to put a bigger pipe in, or a bigger barrel, a way to keep it from collapsing in on itself. And then you can just drop a bucket in there, fill it up, turn the ball valve off without overflowing and getting a mess everywhere. Because again, it's poopy water. I mean, you don't really want to get it on you if you can avoid it. But anyway, that's what we're doing today. I actually have daylight because it's Saturday and stuff. But yeah, we'll get it going. I got to go find my tripod because, like I said, it's been a minute, guys. We'll show you what we're doing, and then we're going to go work on some fence because that project got left when we started doing other stuff, lost priority. Anyway, we'll go tighten up a corner and then see if we've got some old fencing that we can put with the new fencing that's the right height and blah, blah, blah. It's farmer mentality, man. You don't ever throw anything away if it looks like it might be useful. And turns out it usually is. But yeah, here we go. Okay, so we had a big pipe. Like I was talking earlier about putting like a large barrel. Oh, look, there it is. The black one. I'm going to cut the top off of that so I can dunk a 5-gallon bucket down in, and then, like we talked before, but this here big pipe, I think it's like 6-inch PVC. I'm going to cut a couple little mousy holes on each side so that it can go around the valve. That way everything doesn't collapse in on it too. It's going to get loud. And yes, it took way longer than that because I already cut like most of the way around. But then my sweetie pie come out here and said, "What are you doing? Making all that noise?" And then I told her, like I told you guys, at the same time even. So now we're done. Thank you. Okay, so I need to put glue on the pipe that is in the dirt currently, around it and inside that ball valve. So I'm going to smear it in the ball valve, and then have you start pushing that in, and then I'll smear it around that, and then I'll kind of guide the two of them together, and then have you push it in with the ball valve out there standing straight up, and then after you get it all the way in, rotate it down, and that makes sure that there's glue everywhere, and then just kind of hold it for a second. Okay. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Shenko. Oh, jeez. You can never get to where you need to be. Urka Durka. Well, the good side is, the good thing is, this is not a pressurized system. It's literally just a drain. So we could basically just push this together because I'm on the downside. And if you don't spill this all over and get it on your fingers and all over the pipe and everything else, then you haven't done it properly, apparently, because that's the way it always goes. But all right, push it in towards me a little bit, like rotate the ball valve. Yeah, there you go. A little bit, or stop. I'm gonna slobber a bunch of glue all over it. And this is the stuff you can do in the wet, but of course, I just got dirt on it. All right, well, I got it all over the place, so. Golly. Well, you guys get the principle. That's not really the best method, but. Okay, push it in hard as you can, and then rotate it down. Keep pushing in a little bit more. There you go. Down just a scooch. There you go. All right, perfect. That's enough. Like I said, it's not pressurized. It's just a drain. So it's not nearly as important, but I like it to be glued because otherwise it could get knocked apart. But that's what I needed. I just couldn't be on both sides of the fence.
Okay.
Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now we just need to drill a couple of those mouse holes in this. And I'm hoping that this drill's a little oversized because this will be a big enough clearance for the pipe, but it won't be for the ball valve body. But we're just gonna go with it and see what happens. I'll drill this on 180 degrees out and then cut up to it so that it'll slip over the top of that pipe. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to do this outside the duck's pen so I don't have to clean up all those little shavings, because they will probably try and eat them. Yeah, I'll meet you on the outside. Ooh. So we got this one. Now I got to try and do, well, I got a hole, but try and do it 180 out. I guess it doesn't have to be perfect, but the better, the closer we are, the better it would be. Oy. Measuring it would probably be even better still, but we don't got no time for that. I don't know. We're close. I'm kind of trying to make this a little oversized, but come out. Good grief. There we go. Phew. All right. Well, that might be fun. We'll figure it out. Da-dum. Yeah, this could be fun. I need to drill some holes in it or something so I can spin it the opposite way. But anyway, we don't need to cut it all the way out with the sawzall, or the sawzall? The hole saw. But that is an easy way of making it go in from the sides. But I'll use the sawzall to get it the rest of the way down, and then we'll sink it over the top of that pipe, boop, and then bury it. Okay. Let's go see if it fits. No. It's a wee bit snug. Just the corners. So I think I'll just bevel that the other way and we should be good. Alrighty then. Voila. Now we just got to bury it. And then we'll put the pool down and tighten up the drain and put all the gravel back against it. Alrighty. Now the only thing that kind of sucks with this way of doing it with it where it screws down from the top is this gasket's kind of thick, and then you've got all of this thickness that the water has to go over, so you're not going to get it all drained, but it's close enough. Sheesh. The fun part's getting the thread started. Now you don't have to have this like crazy tight, but you do want it tight. So I'm just putting a couple of screwdrivers in there and then using a pipe wrench to spin it. I think I'm just spinning the top chrome part. Of course, my fear is if I pop that chrome off, will it stay on there? Gonna risk it. It's just got these little tabs that push down in there. All right. It came with like this little. Can you tell I'm not a plumber? I gotta go look for something. I'll be right back. All right. See what that says? Yeah, to tighten caulking nut, use a screwdriver. Kind of wondered what this thing was for, but it's becoming apparent. There's little notches in there. Put a screwdriver in, and voila. Now we can actually tighten it up, because I was just spinning the grill. Well, I think that's as tight as we're gonna get it. Oh yeah. Well, we misshaped the caulking nut. It now has a warped slot. So hopefully that's tight enough. It doesn't feel like it really wants to move, but I have a feeling that's where we were leaking. was around the gasket. I tried putting caulking on there, but the ducks saw it and then they wanted to get it off. And I don't think it's good for them to eat that, so we're not going to do that again. But anyway, now well, first I'll fill it full of water so that the rocks don't flick right underneath of it, but we'll bury it back up as high as we can. I might see if I can go get some more rock and out of the creek bed or something like that. But anyway, I think we've successfully replaced one of the ducks' pools. The other one leaks down slow, but I might actually just try and tighten it up before I go to all this trouble on that side. But yeah, the other one was really brittle, so I'm sure we're going to have to come up with a better way. Probably get more of a true pond. They make like prefab ones that are, they got little swirly shapes and all kinds of weirdness, but anyway, they're about $100, so I went cheap, and now I'm redoing it, because that's just how that works. But yeah, we'll get this wrapped up. So this guy here, I just made out of ABS, and well, this is PVC, but I put a coupler on it to kind of give it more wall strength, and then cut a couple of slits on each side, kind of like what we did with that big 6-inch job, but it slips down over the ball valve, so I don't have to reach down in there and stand on my head and stuff. Boop. Now it's turned off. Oh, you can, it also doubles as a hose holder. So I turn the ball valve on. Run the hose down it. And that way the hose doesn't go flying all over the place. But I can do other things while it's filling up. Anyway, we'll get all this back filled, and then I'll roll the hose up around the wheel here instead of over around the post. And then we'll sprinkle it all down, and it should be good. There, now we can switch the ducks back over to this side and let the grass start growing back on that side. I'll finish cleaning this up and we'll call that done. So, haven't worked on this fence for a while because we don't have cows in here currently, or any animal for that matter other than the wildlife, but we're going to do an X on this here cross brace. We'll come up high, go down low, come up high, go down low, and that'll keep the post from pulling in either direction because this is in between. And then hopefully we'll go from the end of our new roll of fence, and I've got some, I'm hoping I've got enough fence that doesn't have a screwed up spot in it, and we'll string some new fence, and if all goes well, maybe even put it under tension and start nailing her down. I've filmed this before, but if you want to go into the archives there and dig up one of them, I'm sure in fencing or something like that. But if you're new to the channel, then appreciate you checking in on us, and how do. But We'll see if we can't get something accomplished here. Okay, so here's how I do it. Doesn't make it right, but it does make it done. Wrap around the post and twist it off to itself. I'll show you here a little bit closer in a minute. Go down, wrap around the post, come up here, wrap around the post, twist it off to itself again. Now these aren't really doing any good at this point, but I got my old jack handle off the picking up truck, and we're just gonna start twisting. And that will get tighter and tighter and tighter as we twist. And it will untwist a little bit when we're done here, but not a tremendous amount. I've seen people do this with like sticks and stuff, and then you just leave the stick in there. It untwisted like halfway, and that's it. So now it's in the center over this. We can fence on either side. Obviously we're going to fence on the inside because the animal's trying to come out. But I made these quite a bit tighter. We're going to do it again down here. Hold on to it or it'll come out on you. I can tell you, it's getting difficult. There's a pretty tremendous amount of pull power on that. Way better. So now what this is doing is pulling this post this way down to the bottom of that. Now the bottom, because it's anchored in concrete and all that, isn't going to move very far. This cross brace is making it to where it's actually trying to kick the bottom of that one out as it's pulling the top this way and the top this way, blah blah blah. So we're going to go ahead and put an X going the other direction now too, and it'll make it really strong as far as back and forth this way. It was already pretty good and pretty anchored, but this just makes it very nice. And you can do this with high tension smooth wire, no barbs. It'd be a lot easier, but I don't have any, so we're gonna use this. Tell you what, if you're trying to get a little bit of patience learned, work with barbed wire. You're either gonna learn to get patient or you're gonna bleed, because you gotta slow down. You start yanking and jerking and throwing things around, that stuff will cut you. One staple would probably be sufficient, but two will make sure if one rusts through or pops or whatever, we're still held in. And I can't tell you a certain amount of torque, but you want this to be tight, but not so much you're just gonna pop this apart. It's only got so much tensile strength. Yeah, tensile strength. That comes off of there. It'll probably come right at your face, so. Tight, but not crazy. Okay, so this is a little closer view. How it goes around the post, comes in, and then just the opposite on the other one. That's what, like 7 times around. It's not coming loose. I mean, it's gonna pull some, but it's already done that when we were tensioning it down. And then over here is the same thing. Down at the bottom, it just comes in, goes all the way around, and then back out, and then up. And then this is what it looks like in the center. Oh, come on, focus. Sheesh. Wowzers. Anyway, good grief. Yeah, there we go. Whew. So this here is when we pulled the jack handle back out. It untwists about half a turn, but as you can see, there's plenty of twist in it still. And yeah, it's tight. So we've taken the wire here, come in and twisted it around itself on each one of these all the way down. And that's how we're gonna bring the fence back together. So I'm gonna take this part where it's cut long, and I will go through these eyelets and then bring it back and twist it on itself. And then on down the fence line we go. Now hopefully I can edit this and zoom in and crop it so that you can see what's going on here. But I've got this shoved through the eyelet, and I'm gonna bring this clear up to here. So I found it's easier to kind of thread these through sort of all at the same time. Otherwise you're really fighting yourself. So I'm just kind of shoving them through the loop for right now, and then working this fence closer and closer together. I hope that this is going to be able to, so you see what I'm doing here. But we're getting to the point where the fence is fighting me almost. There we go. Okay. And again, this is used fence, so everything's not perfect, but it will work. All right, so we'll start at the bottom. Hopefully you can kind of see, but I'm just bringing it around, creating that loop, and then just twisting it as best I can. I'm sure there's many ways of doing this. And like I said before, this is how I do it. So don't make it right, but it does make it done. The very bottom wire and the very top wire, quite a bit heavier gauge. I'm gonna probably have to twist that better with the pliers. But of course, I didn't bring them with me yet. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll put her in fast forward and some sort of a montage-y thing, a little muzak, and it'll be a lot funner to watch for you. But I'm gonna have to suffer through it the whole way through. Even a little bit of these tails on here isn't going to be the end of the world. It's no worse than barbed wire. And we're going to run barbed wire across the top and bottom of the fence once we're done here, so it'll be okay. We're around the outside of this fence post right now though, so we got to get back on the inside and then we'll string it down there. Okay, that's that. We'll set you up down there. Okay, now I just need to get my tensioner board put on here. We'll put a strap top and bottom, and then I'm gonna have to park the truck kind of where you guys are, and we'll ratchet the thing down. Or maybe I'll have enough to pull to that tree. We'll see. Okay, so the way I'm doing this is I've got got a 2x4 on the back here that's got holes drilled through it. And then this 2x4 has got screws that are in between each of these. And then I'm gonna screw it tight from the other side And then we'll hook a strap around here and then slip it over the top, and then that will go to the come along. So anytime you can, if you're going around a chain, or if you can help it at all, anytime you're going around a tree, use a strap, not a chain. Chain will debark that tree, and if you go 3/4 of the way around a tree and strip the bark, you just killed it. So anyway, we got a strap going up to our come along, and then chain goes around another strap that is on that spreader bar or thingamajigger that I made, that we talked about earlier. I'm going to go further down the line, and I just put a piece of wire around one of the T-posts to kind of keep the fence up, but I think I'm going to move it down here. You know what I said about killing a tree? If it's already dead, it don't help. If I go to the next tree down, it's further off line of the fence. Good grief. Okay. Well, in about a minute here, my battery is going to go dead, and I didn't know it. Well, if you like this video, then share it or subscribe to the channel or whatever. But anyway, we'll see you again next week. God bless. Well, I guess if we're stripping the wires off, that's about as tight as we're going to get, because we're pulling these uprights down the line. So I guess now we'll go down there and start working this way.